Me right now is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee. And Senator, it is good to have you on the program this morning.
Great. To Eric Holder, there's a lot of credible information that the people behind these attacks are radical Islamists who've been involved in the fight for years. One of them went to jail for flowing fighters into Iraq. So this is not a mystery. Attorney General Holder, we know exactly what's going on here.
Well, I mean, it is quite extraordinary, actually. I mean, we know we do have evidence. Why would he say there's no credible evidence?
I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea why the President of the United States won't call this a religious war when the President of Egypt does. Our strategy to combat radical Islam is failing. President Obama's worldview has been, I don't want to be George Bush. Radical Islam has risen in the last 3 or 4 years on his watch. Pulling our troops out of Iraq against sound military advice allowed al-Qaeda in Iraq to rise again to become ISIL, not supporting the Free Syrian Army 3 or 4 years ago when it would matter. Taking Gaddafi down without dealing with the militias has been a perfect storm to lead the rise of radical Islam all over the world, and I put it at the feet of our president.
And yet Eric Holder is the person that the president decided to send into the middle of all of this. Why that choice is also a question.
Well, last time I checked, we're at war. I wouldn't send my attorney general if I were president to deal with radical Islamic terrorists. We're at war where this is an international war. It's a global war. We don't have a strategy. I hope the Congress will do a global risk assessment about how many groups are out there and what kind of comprehensive strategy we can come up with to defeat them. The attorney general is a law enforcement officer, and it says all you need to know about Obama's view of this conflict. He thinks it's a crime out of control. I think it's a war out of control.
Senator, let me ask you to comment on what's happening right now in Paris. We've got more than 50 leaders throughout Europe. The president, of course, is not there. But what is the impact, do you think, of all of these leaders getting together and march against what happened this past week?
Well, symbolically, it's a good thing to tell the terrorists we're not going to bend to your will. They're trying to replace our way of life with theirs. But this means nothing if it's not followed up with a coherent strategy to defeat ISIL and ISIS, deal with the AQAP. So if it's a rally that doesn't translate into a strategy, to our French friends, you withdrew from Afghanistan early. Think about sending thousands of troops into Afghanistan to hold on to the gains we've had. The air campaign we have against ISIL in Iraq and Syria needs to be supplemented with a ground campaign. If you really want to make a difference, go into Iraq and Syria with an international coalition on the ground and destroy these guys. Every day they're allowed to survive is the day that we can get hit. So if this doesn't translate into a coherent, aggressive strategy to win in Syria and Iraq, is just a feel-good exercise.
All right, I want to ask you more about that strategy and also get your take on the new Congress's priorities. So stay with us, Senator. More with Senator Lindsey Graham. You just said that we need to see a real strategy, groundswell strategy in Iraq and Syria. Can you walk us through that? What should that look like?
Well, number one, we should stop letting people out of Gitmo. 68 of the 132 people at Guantanamo Bay come from Yemen. So the president's desire to empty the jail in Gitmo needs to stop. Kelly Ayotte will be leading an effort in Congress to put a moratorium on releases. Number two, we need to get a ground component to complement the air campaign. You cannot dislodge ISIL from Syria and Iraq based on American air power. There is no mythical Arab army in the making. We're going to need an international force, at least 10,000 Americans to provide intelligence, logistics, special forces, and air assets to take on ISIL. Mosul is 10 times larger than Fallujah. It took 8,000 Marines to liberate Fallujah with the Sunni tribal leaders. We need a ground component to supplement the air campaign and go after these guys in Iraq and Syria so they do not enjoy a safe haven from which to attack the United States.
Do you expect the new Congress to be able to move the needle on this? The president has been adamant that he does not want ground forces.
He has been adamant that he wants to. He said the goal is to degrade and destroy ISIL. He doesn't have a strategy in place that can accomplish that goal. His goal really is, Maria, is to run out the clock and pass this on to the next president. And if we wait 2 or 3 years to deal with these guys, the likelihood of getting attacked at home is great. So I hope the Congress will push back. I hope the Congress will shut down this wholesale release of Gitmo detainees that are going to go right back to the fight. 30% of the people released from Guantanamo Bay have gone back to the fight. If we keep releasing the people, we're going to have to fight them all over again. I hope the Congress will put on the table the idea of winning in Iraq and Syria, that we're fighting a religious war. President Obama's strategy is not going to degrade or destroy ISIL. It's going to allow this conflict to go further and longer. And we have let Libya fall apart. We're letting Yemen fall apart. The biggest prize of all is Iran. The administration is negotiating with the Iranians over their nuclear program. They're about to give away the farm to the Iranian Ayatollahs. We've got a North Korea in the making where you try to control a rogue regime called Iran and have the UN monitor their nuclear program. And one day you're going to wake up with an Iranian nuclear weapon and put the whole world into a nuclear arms race in the Mideast. So I hope Congress will pass legislation to say that if you do any deal with the Iranians, Mr. President, we want to look at it and approve it before it's binding. There's so much Congress can do and we should do. I've never been more worried about being hit at home because the president's worldview and strategy toward radical Islam is failing. He oversells our successes. He underestimates the threat. Bin Laden may be dead, Maria, but al-Qaeda is not decimated.
Well, clearly, based on what we're seeing and have been seeing for so long. What else are you expecting from the new Congress, Senator? Let's talk about the priorities, what you'd like to see as the priority.
Sure.
We've all been talking about the Keystone. That's clearly one of the low-hanging fruit. What else do you see as a priority?
Making sure that no deal with the Iranian nuclear program involving the Ayatollahs gets implemented without congressional approval. Number 2, if the Congress doesn't wake up and replace the defense cuts and intelligence community cuts under sequestration, we're complicit in the next attack. We're on track to reduce our military spending from 2016 to 2020 to have the smallest Navy since 1915, the smallest Army since 1940, the smallest Air Force and Marine Corps in history, and we're decimating the NSA, the FBI, the CIA. Our entire intelligence network gets destroyed under sequestration. So I'll be looking with to Democrats and Republicans to find an alternative to replace the sequestration cuts that gut our ability to defend our homeland against the growing threat. That's a priority. After that, I want to try to flatten out the tax code, create jobs in America, replace the EPA regulation on carbon that's destroying the ability to create jobs. That's a nightmare in the making for the American economy if this EPA regulation on carbon gets to be law.
And we've already seen business sitting on cash as a result of that regulatory environment. Senator, good to have you on the program as always. Thanks very much.
Thank you.